Today we are conducting some very important research on the Ford Bronco Raptor. Of course, the number one thing in anyone's mind when they buy one of these vehicles is how efficient will it be on the highway? Well, today we're going to find out. This is Chris here with Daily Motor, and today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2022 Ford Bronco Raptor. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a walk around this thing. Excuse it while it double honks. There it is, the key is in my pocket. But here it is in all its glory and all of its wideness and loudness. The Raptor is new for the 22 model year, and they've taken the Bronco that we know and they've just added more. It's taller, it's wider, it's louder, it's more powerful, and it's oranger. So today, as I'm sure a lot of you are very eager to find out, and of course you clicked on this video for a reason, we're gonna find out how efficient this thing is on the highway. To be honest, it's the last thing anyone cares about on the Bronco Raptor, but maybe you are just curious to see how this thing will do. If you want to learn more about the Bronco Raptor, make sure to check the links in the description, as we have a full review, a infotainment video, and some other things on the Bronco Raptor. I also think Charlie took it off-roading, which would explain why it's so dirty. But let's go ahead and get started with the fuel economy test. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's fuel economy test, which gives this Bronco Raptor 16 MPG on the highway, only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know that some people like to take their vehicles on actual, proper, all-American cheeseburger road trips. And, well, we're here to give you some real-world results, because what we do and what we're going to do today is go out 25 miles and back 25 miles, averaging 70 miles per hour for a more real-world figure. And you got to listen to this thing real quick. That's not even in its loud mode either. A couple things worth noting for today's test. Outside temperature is 64 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to be running the climate control inside the cabin at 73 degrees auto. Tire pressures have been set to their factory door placard indicated 38 psi cold, and we'll be using the same gas pump both times, using the same 3-click filling method to get the most accurate results possible. All right, we are at the pump. The car has shut off, turned back on, and now I'm going to shut it off again so we can get our first fill. 6.2 gallons of premium fuel in there for our first fill. It's hilarious. I thought it was going to be a little bit cheaper than that, but the Bronco Raptor has over a 20-gallon tank, so being down a quarter tank, as you can see, I had to put 6 gallons in. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the test after we reset our trip. There we go. No GPS today because it wasn't working. That's okay, because we have Waze, which will give us our GPS speed. Dang it looks like we're going to be sitting at a red light, but that'll give me some time to give you guys a tour of all of the drive modes, including normal, off-road, Baja, rock crawl, sport, tow haul, and slippery. We're going to go ahead and leave this thing in normal mode. We do not have an eco mode, but we do have auto start stop, so we are sitting at this red light, not burning any petrol. We're also going to go ahead and set our climate control to 73 degrees auto. Just did that now. And we'll go ahead and drive very softly as we can, all the way up to the highway entrance ramp, which is about a quarter mile up the road. How much speed can we carry around here? Okay, carried a decent amount. Now the purpose of this test is not to hypermile. I'm not going to get on the highway, do any sort of purposely economical driving. I'm not going to get behind a semi and draft or anything like that. I'm just going to get on the highway, if Mr. Semi allows that, set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour, and just drive like any normal person would. All right, looks like we are good at 72. Under first highway impressions, the Bronco Raptor is exactly what you'd expect. being that it's basically just a rolling brick, it's not very aerodynamic, you do have quite a bit of wind noise. And since we are on some KO2s, some big 37-inch tires, they're quite loud as well. You can hear quite a bit of wind, quite a bit of road, but that's okay, because when you buy one of these cars, that's what you expect. You don't expect to get into a Bronco Raptor and have it be the most quiet thing in the world. It's not the point of this thing. Though it is cozy, we're on some Fox suspension, so it soaks up the bumps nicely. And these seats are pretty nice as well. They've got some nice Alcantara to hold you in if you're doing some brisk cornering, which we won't be doing today, but I am pretty content in this Bronco Raptor. We do have, obviously we have cruise control, but we also have lane keep assist, and we do have radar guided cruise, which I just adjusted there. You can do that, all these controls here on the left side of the steering wheel. You can adjust your lane keep as well as your distance for radar. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to driving, get to passing these semis, and I'll catch up with you guys here in about 45 or so miles. Wrapping up our drive here in the Ford Bronco Raptor, and I've got to say, it's been pretty nice. It's not as bouncy and harsh as I expected it to be. Sure, it's bouncier than the average car just because it is body on frame and it doesn't soak up the bumps quite as nicely as a very refined unibody car would, but again, that isn't the purpose of the Bronco Raptor, and honestly, these big tires help it be nice and cozy. They do also make it quite loud, but it's honestly fine. The B&O sound system has been pretty decent. The adaptive cruise control works very well, and I'm honestly quite pleased with this whole experience thus far in the Bronco Raptor. Out here on the trip computer, the car says we are getting 17.3 MPG, so about a mile over EPA. We'll have to see once we get back to the pump what our math gives us, but that seems about right for what this car should be getting. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out my last few miles. Again, no real complaints here with the Bronco Raptor. It's exactly what I expected, if not even more comfortable. I've got little to no fatigue right now. So good work from Bronco Raptor. I'm going to finish this out, and I'll catch you guys once I have brimmed the tank. And 2.88 gallons in there for our final fill. So we'll go ahead and take today's journey of 52 miles even and divide that by 2.88 gallons of fuel that we used, and that gives us 18 MPG. Now, towards the end of the trip, the car was reading out high 17, so I would believe this to be quite accurate, that the Bronco Raptor has achieved a staggering 18 miles per gallon on the highway. Now, keep in mind, EPA is 16, so this is kind of a win for the Bronco Raptor. It has beaten EPA by 2 miles per gallon. Now let's take this number and multiply it by 20.8, as that is the size of our fuel tank, and that gives you an effective highway cruising range of 370 miles. So can't really go very far on one tank. We see cars that go over 500 miles quite frequently, but that's not really what this car is about. You're supposed to take this out to the sand dunes and just do some really high-speed sand fun driving. So thank you all so much for watching. If you are curious to learn more about the Bronco Raptor, we will have more links in the description to other videos on the Raptor. Well, that'll wrap it up. This has been Chris here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.